heard was made
public
Are we
with
on the air?
ThatChannel.com.
Okay. Here we are. It's me, Hugh Riley, and Nikki Hayes here, and we are joined here at the table by Joe Barbieri, Joe the investor. Joe, great to have you on the show today.
Hi, how are you?
Now we're talking about currency
Yeah.
and money. We always talk about money, financial issues with you, and it's great to do this today. So give us a little bit of an introduction about what we're talking about today, because we're approaching 2012, and money is going to have to change.
Okay, so the message is that people choose the money they want. Now, I sent a couple of videos which will be played later,
Right.
which will back up what I'm talking about. But
Of course.
But for
Are
now,
we going to watch both of those videos?
both of them, yeah.
Okay.
So there's one with the U.S. dollar, and there's one with an Italian town making their own money, which is very recent. Now, if you go to the States now, you'll see everyone has dollar bills. That's what everybody uses.
Like the paper dollar bill?
Paper dollar
Oh,
bills.
okay, because we got rid of ours a long time
And
ago.
everyone else has coins.
Like
Now-
Canada has the loonie,
Like
which we love.
Like that.
We love the loonie.
So why doesn't the States have a loonie or an equivalent?
Yeah.
Now, it turns out they do have one,
Really?
and this is a sample of it,
This little guy here?
and that was made for circulation.
Really? No wonder-
However,
Look.
Want me to hold it up?
Okay, yes, please hold that up to the camera there, Nikki Hayes.
Okay. It's got our queen on it. No. Okay, where do I go?
Yeah, up to the camera.
Okay.
Try to get him to focus in.
There? I've had too much coffee already. I see my shaking. Me go back? Okay, and then I'll turn it around. Because there is the iconic eagle. Pardon? Is that- So what is the symbolism of this coin, Joe? You're saying this is unusual.
so-
You found, did they experiment with this and then pulled it, or?
so if you notice, the year on that is 1979.
Yes.
So that's a 30-year-old coin.
Right.
They made 1 billion of those things, and they were attempting to circulate them.
Yes.
But the people said, we don't want it. So they pushed it back to the government.
Yes.
So as of now, nobody has those. They use
And how did
dollar
you find
bills.
this out? I've never heard of this. I never heard these were
Well,
minted or.
Yeah, well, the video will explain that,
Okay.
the history of where that came from and why nobody's using it. And so basically, the States tried to do what we did with the loonie and what the euro did and what the pound did, making everything in coins.
Yes.
But the people said, we don't want it. We like our dollar bill, and we're going to keep it. So they had to take the coins back, and they're basically sitting in a vault, and they've been there for 30 years in a Federal Reserve Bank.
So what does that mean in terms of the whole monetary supply? Because a lot of people are misunderstanding or confused about the ability for a government just to print money and just to keep expanding the supply. So if this is just sitting there, what does that?
Well, that's kind of a separate topic, but the point of showing you that is that people can choose the money they want, the
Yes.
format they want,
Yeah.
or whatever basis it's on. The people of the States refuse that form of money. They'd rather
So
have the paper money.
there has to be mutual agreement in the belief of what the value of the exchange is.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So
And that's proof that, one, it's done in modern times.
yes.
Two, it's been done in a large country like the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And the second example was people making their own money,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Italian town, Fioretto, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
They're going through cuts and austerity like everybody else.
Yes.
And they've decided as a town to issue their own currency
Mhm.
just for the town, something like Toronto dollars.
Yeah.
but it's for their town.
That's really exciting because that means they're taking their power back in regard to they will create the value. I will decide what the value is, and if we have mutual agreement, and it's like the barter system, except they're still using a particular currency, if you will, as opposed to just if I'm an accountant and you're a painter, we can do work that we feel is equal value to with no money at all.
So yeah, well that's all equivalent, but the point of it is that the people decided
Yes.
in the town to say, we're going to do this, not the Italian government, not the Eurozone, the people themselves said, we don't want to be in this debt.
Yeah.
We want to print money so that we have an honest exchange.
Yes.
And we have control of it, we the town. And so it's two examples that say, if people want to change the money, they can do it.
Yes.
It doesn't have to come from the government, from the World Bank, from whoever. It can come from whoever uses it. And this has been done in other places, but these two are happening today, and
Yeah.
they're tangible, and you can see them,
Yeah.
and they're in the public, so that... So if you want any proof of it,
Sorry, Joe.
the proof is out there. It isn't just someone's idea that, well, I can make my money, but nobody's going to buy it, so it's not really valid. But the proof is there that it is valid if everybody agrees and there's enough momentum behind it.
Now, if we take this information and as we apply it to the world that we're entering as we approach 2012,
Oh, he always ties in the
Nikki
theme.
Hayes.
That's what I love about you.
because it looks like that the people who are managing, and I use that term loosely, global banking, financial, and currency, are really making a mess of it. And this is why that town in Italy is doing it, because they are, you know, the whole situation in Europe with the euro and of course with the United States, the trillions of dollars that the quantitative easing, all that stuff is just, you know, the currency itself is getting to the point where people may start to lose confidence in the official currencies, right? And people, this town in Italy has taken the initiative to manage their own currency, right?
That's right. That's why they're doing it.
So they've taken that step because I think a lot of people right now do not believe in the present currency. But what you're saying is these people have taken back their power. They've created something now that works for them, even though it's in their own little world. It's working for them. So it's a very hopeful situation and creating a possibility for a lot of people to look at as a model, which is...
That's right. And there's another coin you have there. That's a silver dollar.
Is it actually silver?
Well, it's not silver. It used to be.
It doesn't look like silver. Like the Canadian quarters used to be silver, right? And they're no longer.
It was all... Now, so what I'm talking about is not a silver dollar. That's a collector's dollar. And we've always had those.
Now, is this... So this is this official U.S. government or Federal Reserve currency? This one?
That one is too, yeah.
They both are.
You can take it to a bank and they'll deposit.
Wow.
But it's
Okay.
not intended for everybody to use. It's for a few, just to say we have this dollar. It's meant for collectors.
So this
Okay.
is 1978.
The dollar bill is for the circulation of
Right. Well, like
everyday
Canadian silver
business.
dollars. Are they...
Same idea.
Is there still silver dollars in Canada? Are they silver?
They still have them, yeah. Well, they're nickel dollars, but they look...
They're
They're
this-
large,
yeah,
and they're about the size of that U.S. one.
Remember when they were really silver? Those were good days.
Well, that's where the name comes from. They used to be real silver, 100% silver,
Yeah.
90%, and then slowly they took out, and then in '67 they decided no more silver, too expensive.
Yeah. Well, in '67 that was a centennial year, right? Where they had the fish on the dime and the rabbit on the nickel.
That's the one, yeah.
Those were real. Were they silver that year? Was that the last year?
The dollars were, and the 50 cents was, and the quarters. The
Oh.
other three, the silver was removed
Oh,
prior
okay.
to '67.
I see. Okay. So,
What I'd like to talk about, though, is the fear that people have of when we're talking about the destruction of these economic institutions and financial institutions and banks. And really, you're presenting an argument not to worry because we actually can take back what really the whole meaning of creating an exchange is about, which is calculating a value and creating a tool that we can live by and create a lifestyle by.
Well, yeah, that's how every currency started.
Mm-hmm.
People got together and said, how do we trade? Oh, we have these seashells. Okay, well, everyone knows what they are, so we'll use that. And then when it got too much, they switched it to beads or something else, and then it became some kind of metal, and then it became paper, but everyone went through that.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone looks at the end of stuff, but not the beginning. The two of them always come together. If the system ends now, something else will come back to take its place.
Mm-hmm.
It could be these local currencies, it could be something else,
Yes.
but something has to fill the void.
Mm-hmm.
And if people have to exchange, which they do, and the money suddenly isn't there, people will say, well, we need to do something else. They might barter at first, they might use gold, they might use silver, they might use something everyone knows, and then eventually build up a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be another Canadian dollar,
So your
which
core
is just...
your core business is actually an investment consultant, or are you telling people what to do with their money today?
Well, I tell people how to understand the money.
Mm.
I don't deal with advice per se, but in terms of allowing you to do it yourself and understand what's going on, that's where I come in.
So, Joe, what's the prognosis as we approach 2012 to the money, to the money system in general? I feel like writing Mark Carney a letter, but how do you think? Where do you think we stand on the global financial system?
It's up to us. It's up to the people to decide how they're going to exchange, and I think there'll be many different things. It won't just be one. Whatever works for the city or for this province or for the state, that's what people will do, and then eventually they'll trade with each other.
Yeah.
And then we'll have whatever comes. But it's wide open. It's not.
It's wide open, and we know about. In fact, we do a show here at that channel, or every month up until the summer. We had been doing a special show every month with the Toronto dollar. So Toronto dollar is another example of people getting together, creating their own currency. We have the LET systems. We had Thomas Greco. Have you heard of Tom Greco? Thomas Greco? He's written a book, Future of Money.
Oh.
Or the Reinventing Money, the Future of Currency. And he's great. I'm reading his book right now. And he's really got a great understanding of all the issues around how to do this. A lot of people have been trying to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Doing different approaches,
Yeah.
Ithaca hours. So you've got, on the one hand, you've got people doing community currency. On the other hand, you've got the business barter networks that are commercial enterprises that are, they're doing I don't know about billions, but millions of dollars of transactions every year.
Yeah.
And this is a new way to, and we have the internet now that allows virtual trading of credits, intangible credits and that sort of thing. Seems to me one of the big problems is that the powers that be, the people that are
Control the
benefiting
system.
from the current system,
Yeah.
and that includes bankers, it includes governments, it includes large corporations, global corporations. If the system changes significantly, they stand to lose a lot of their power base and a lot of their wealth base, and I'm a little bit concerned that they may try to protect that by supporting fundamentally an unsustainable system past its past due date. Any comments about that?
Well, that's already happening. Most of the news you read probably ties into with that. The market crashes, the quantitative easing, all of that. But it doesn't matter, because that was proven with that Liberty dollar. Even in the biggest economy in the world, if people just say, I'm not interested, it'll shut down. And the government is holding on to these things, saying, what do I do with it? It may come up, that may happen again with, the greater system. People just say, I'm not part of this anymore, and So even though they'll try to do whatever, if the people say no, that's the end of it.
I think
And
it's a great
that's
story, actually, to revive and retell, because it does give people hope that they do have power. And, you know, I see it
They
in the
do.
organic market. People didn't think organic food would really take place, but people have said we want it, and it's now organic products are almost down to the same prices as other
And
products
they're
now.
everywhere.
So it's a great
And
model.
I remember the recycling when that started
Yes.
in 1960.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't alive then, but I heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
People thought it was crazy to recycle things.
Yep.
That's garbage. What are you doing? You know, no one reuses that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were considered crazy for 20 years. And
Yep.
now there's a blue bin everywhere
Mm-hmm.
in everybody's house. And that's now the standard of life. And you would never dream of not doing it. And so it always starts with some idea. And all the resistance comes and, you know, no one's going to do that. But then 30 years later, everyone's doing that. And the organic was another example, and even the
Mhm.
alternatives, the health methods, they were all considered, you know, quacks but now a lot of people use them, and they're on every corner now. The acupuncturists, homeopaths, there's many of them now, and so everything starts like that,
Yep.
and then everything eventually takes hold, and the money's going to be next.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joe, anything else you want to get out? We're don't have a lot of time left, but I want to make sure we get all your stuff out. So, any
What's
final
your main
thoughts?
message, Joe? What do you want people to be left with?
The people have a choice.
Mm.
They can choose whatever they want to choose, regardless of the size or the existing system or the existing framework. Even on a big scale, they can decide. I mean, look at the HST in British Columbia. The people said, no, we don't want it. And here, I haven't even heard anyone even talking about that, but we can do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's an example of the people, you know, the people making a choice. So that can be done on any level, including the currency, which a lot of people believe is fixed and handed to you and out of my control. But in fact, it is in the control. Just people have to think about it a different way.
That is a good news message, eh, Nikki Hayes?
It is, yeah. Yeah, do you have a blog, or are you getting this message out on a consistent basis to inspire people and to...
Well, here and there, I mean, with this show and
Mhm.
with the videos that are out there, and I'll give you my website, and you can refer to the show. It's www.joetheinvestor.ca.
There you go, joetheinvestor.ca.
My-
So people can get in touch with you there, and
Well, my email is there, and my phone number's there, so...
great. And you do the show here. Just
And I-
remind people they
I
can
do a
tune in
show
live
here
and
as
see
well.
you talking about these and other subjects every month.
Every month, the Cube Talk Show, Cube spelled QB, the third Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m.
There you go.
Great. Thank you.
I'm going to sneeze, Nikki Hayes.
Go ahead. It's all real here at That Channel.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Also, all your shows, all your past shows are available in our archives. Just click
Yep.
the past shows tab there. Don't do it now. You'll click away from us. But also, are they archived on joetheinvestor.com?
They
Or
are,
.ca?
yeah.
Okay,
You can see all of them there.
great. Joe, always a pleasure to have you in. And
Okay, thanks.
thanks for bringing these Liberty dollars in.
Yeah.
Okay, Nikki Hayes, let's take a little break.
Yeah, that was great.
We're
Thank
gonna
you.
play some...
First time I've been paid to do an
oh,
interview.
no, we've got the videos. We got a couple of videos now, don't we, Joe, to kind of illustrate these points.
Yeah.
One's on the Italian town, doing
One's
their
on
own
the
currency,
Italian town,
and the other one is
one's on the Liberty
on
dollar.
the Liberty dollar.
And what's
So let's-
happening now with it.
Great. So let's watch these now, and we're going to come back with Sheena
Sheena
Singh
Singh.
right after this.
Around the federal government does. It is in presidential dollar coins, and they're from a congressional program that never took hold. Now lawmakers are trying to undo what they started. Lizzie O'Leary reports.
For coins nobody wants, they're heavily guarded. Deep in a basement vault in the Federal Reserve in Baltimore, through an airlock behind steel cages. Washington, Lincoln, millions in presidential dollar coins. 6 years ago, Congress thought they might replace dollar bills. Sure, they cost more to make, about $720 million so far, but they're more durable and could stick around for years. But they never caught on with Americans. The law didn't take dollar notes away, and now the Fed says some 40%, that's $1.2 billion worth of coins, is just sitting around. Oh, and they've only just finished Rutherford B. Hayes. 24 presidents left to mint. It's not just presidential coins sitting in the vaults. The law mandated that for every 3 presidents minted, there had to be 1 gold Sacagawea coin as well, and they're mixed in with all of the nation's former leaders. Sacagawea was his idea back when he represented North Dakota.
Sacagawea, this is a beautiful coin. People didn't use it, didn't like it. Putting old presidents on there doesn't matter.
He now agrees with the congresswoman trying to kill the whole thing.
We've done it. That's what experiments are all about, and it's failed. And God help us if we can't, get rid of something that has failed, but we tend to not be able to do that around here.
With all the wrangling over the debt, Spear doesn't know when her bill might get a vote. But if it passes, it could maybe trim $1 billion from Washington's bottom line. Lizzie O'Leary, Bloomberg, Baltimore.
Italy's much disputed €54 billion austerity package to slash the country's crippling debt will go through a final debate at the lower house of parliament on Monday. It would increase taxes and cut government spending to balance the budget by 2013. But constant changes to the plan and squabbling between lawmakers has damaged people's faith in it. And as Ivor Bennett reports, there's a town that's decided it doesn't want to wait for the cuts.
Welcome to Filatino, a small town in the middle of Italy that also claims to be an independent principality. And to prove it, it's even started printing its own money. The man on the new notes is town mayor Luca Solari, now self-proclaimed prince.
I guess everyone dreams of being a prince when they're a little boy, and so did I. Now I get to live that dream.
Filatinos going solo in protest over government plans to slash council funding. It wants small towns to merge, halving the number of local authorities. With a population of just 600, Filatino and its mayor are for the chop.
It's a terrible idea because it makes no economic sense. We have everything here to be autonomous, and besides, our neighbouring towns are at least 30 kilometres away, so it's not practically possible. It wouldn't even save that much money. Most regional administrations do nothing. They should get rid of them instead.
The cuts are part of a €45 billion austerity package. Italy's in deep debt, 120% of GDP, the second highest in Europe. But unions are furious with the cuts, accusing the government of punishing those already at their poorest. Even some of Silvio Berlusconi's own allies now oppose them, with amendments piling up. But Filatinos fed up, determined to be the next San Marino, a constitutional republic within Italy that has no national debt, a rare thing in Europe. The mayor thinks the town can live off its natural resources of wood and water, but currently profits go to private companies. There are constitutional hurdles, but since autonomy's not illegal, it could just be a matter of time. At the moment, these notes aren't legal tender, they're just souvenirs, but the plan is for 2 fioritos to be worth €1, and for this to be the only currency that can be spent in the shops and restaurants here. Business has always been slow in this sleepy town, but shopkeepers hope the new money will bring new cash.
I'm sure that once we start using the new currency, the economic situation here will significantly improve. It'll have a positive effect on tourism, of course, attracting more people to the town.
Far from being a PR stunt, Filatino means business, and Berlusconi knows it. He's visiting the town later this month to stave off the rebellion, but he'll have a fight on his hands. Filatino's the source of Rome's water supply, and the mayor's threatening to cut it off if he doesn't get what he wants. Ivor Bennett, RT, Filatino, Italy.